Hey, 7th grade, hopefully you can see all of this. This is your review for your math final test, which is tomorrow. Basically, if you know how to do these things here, you got it. And I will show you, I will remind you how to do some of that in this class today. So the final math test is tomorrow. I will make a few comments tomorrow morning to remind you what's going on, give you your extra credit problem and things like that. Order of operation. Okay, that's when you have a equation that has multiple operations. There might be something in parentheses, add, subtract, multiply, divide. There's a certain order that you do things. You do whatever is in parentheses first, then you multiply and divide in whatever order they come, and then you add and subtract. If there's a division problem within your problem that is like this, 24 divided by 8, you solve that first, along with the parentheses. Okay, you have to do that. You can't multiply and divide. You have to solve that problem first. So watch out for that. Get my rag. My rag erases nicer than any of my erasers. All right? Decimal ratio and percent. That is simply those boxes that you've had where you might have a ratio of 7/100. So what is the equal decimal to 7/100? The decimal is 0.07. Remember, a single digit percent, 7%, 7/100, 0.07. That's what that means. These are the formulas you need to know. You will have to solve the area of a triangle. So know that formula, and I'm not going to reveal that to you, okay? You should have it memorized by now, and if you don't, there's a page in the back, but you're going to have it memorized. You can't look in your book for the formula. Area of a triangle, volume of a cylinder. Cylinder is this thing right here. So the volume, how much space is inside this thing, okay? Not the surface area, but how much space is inside. Volume of a cylinder and the surface area of a rectangular solid. Surface area, that's how many inches squared or feet squared or whatever are on the outside. Not the volume, not how much it holds, but surface area. So those are the three of those that you're going to have to do. All right, you won't have to do any others as far as, area, volume, surface area. Area of a triangle, volume of a cylinder, surface area of a rectangular solid. Signed numbers. That means +3, -3, etc. Okay? Know how to add, multiply, and divide. Know the language. Know that it says, if it says give the product, that is what? Multiplication. If it says give the quotient, that's division. If it says give the sum, that's addition. Okay? In multiplication and division, you multiply and divide the numbers. If the signs are the same, if you have 2 negatives or 2 positives, the answer is positive. If the signs are different in multiplication and division, the answer is negative. Same signs, positive, different signs, negative in multiplication and division. In addition, if the signs are the same, -5 plus -8, you add, if the signs are the same, +5, and actually they don't put this in, right? Sums. Sums. -5, -8. Sums means you're adding. That's why it's important to know that, because they don't have -5 and +5 and +9. If the signs are the same, you add and keep the signs the same. 5 plus 8 is 13. Keep the negative sign, -13. 5 plus 9 is 14. Keep the positive sign, positive 14. If the signs are different in addition, negative 25 and 10, whoops, and positive 10. If the signs are different and you're looking for sum, you're adding, you subtract. You subtract the values. 25 minus 10 is what? 15. And you put the sign of the largest number or the sign of the largest value by it. So because the 25 is a negative, the 10 is a positive, the answer has a negative. All right, make sure you know how to do that. Diagram and solve. Diagram and solve has to do with those different things that cast shadows. So you have a fence post that has a 5-foot fence post with a what? 10-foot shadow or something like that. So then if your telephone pole is throwing a 50-foot shadow, how high is the telephone pole? You solve that by proportion, okay? And I do not need you to draw the triangles. What you're doing is drawing right triangles. I do not need you to draw the triangles, and I will try to remember to remind you of that tomorrow when you take the test. All I need you to do is solve it, okay? You put the length or the height of one drawing over the height of another, and then the length of the shadow has to go with the height, length over length, okay? So if your height is 10 feet and your shadow is 20 feet and this shadow is 40 feet, okay? Then what is the height of the one that casts the 40-foot shadow? Then you just solve that by proportion. And I will just need you to solve that, give the missing number. For that, you won't need to draw the diagram. Okay, percent problems. There will be 3 different percent problems, and what we mean by percent problems is problems like sales tax. If you have a 6% sales tax, what is your tax and what is your total bill? Or something like this, what is 24% of 125? What is 24% of 125? Make sure you know how to set those up. Okay, 24% of 125 looks like what? Here's your missing number. What is? Remember how to do that? Here you have number over number. Your missing one is a number. This is a number. Here's a percent, and this is a number. You have number over number, so you have the numbers and percents. Percent is always over what? 24 over 100, right? The numbers are what is, what, W, what is 24% of 125. So then your equation is 100W equals 125 times 24, right? So you multiply 125, so you have 100W equals, what is 125 times 124? Again, you have to do all your math carefully. Okay, you can know how to do everything. You can set your proportion up right. You can have your equation right. You can do all the steps right, except be one off in your multiplication or something like that, and the answer will, unfortunately, be wrong. So take your time, do it right. See, I'm taking my time here doing it right. 125 times 24 equals 3,000. All right? Divide by 100. Divide by 100. Whack off 2 zeros, right? Bam, bam. 30 divided by 1 is W equals 30. Does that make sense? 30 is 24% of 125, okay? That does make sense. So know how to do that. Know how to set up the proportion with the language of the problem. All right, start working on this. You spend $125.50. You have a 6% sales tax. $125.50, 6% sales tax. How much tax are you paying? And what is your total bill then? So what does say? $125.50. $25.50. Sales tax of 6%. I need two answers. How much tax are you paying? So tax, sales tax equals, and total equals. All right? So you're increasing, here's another way to say, you're increasing $125.50 by 6%. Okay? And here, $125.50, you have a number over percent. Remember that. Okay, remember that in these. This is number over percent, not number over number in percent or so. $125.50 is 100% of the bill. Okay, and you're going to increase that by 6% equals, here's your 6%, and your missing number is your tax. Okay, tax is the missing number. And you're going to, finally, you're going to add $125.50 plus the tax to get the total, right? So this proportion is simply figuring out how much tax there is. So you have 100T equals, let's just do this right away. 125.50 times 6. You can drop that 0 right there and just have 125.5 times 6. But again, do the math carefully. 125.5 times 6 equals 753. Okay? Again, while you're multiplying that, I'm not writing that down there, I'm just multiplying it right away. And your answer is 753. Divide by 100. Divide by 100. What is 753 divided by 100? You're simply moving the decimal point. When you divide by 100, move the decimal point 2 places. The decimal point goes there. Your tax equals $7.53. All right. Now what is your total? 125.50 plus 753. 125.5 plus 7.53 equals $133.03. 133 is the total. So these are the two answers that you have to show. Listen to me, please, on this final test. Some of you, a number of you, have been getting sloppy with labels. I need every single label to be exactly what it's supposed to be, and I need you to show every label. Area, volume, surface area, know how to give me a proper label, okay? if there's money involved, you have to have the dollar sign. Okay, you just have to. If you don't, it will be wrong. You can have 7.53. If you don't have the dollar sign, it will be wrong. Okay? Whenever you're working with money, you need dollar signs. Percents. If it's needing a percent, I need to have a percent. Okay? If there's not supposed to be a percent, don't put a percent. So that problem that was here before, what is 24% of 50 or whatever it was? Okay, what is 24%? The what is a number. It's not a percent answer. If it would have said 15 is what percent of, then I would need a percent sign with the answer. Please label. I will not give you grace on skipping labels or improper labels on the final test. And the final percent problem, and this is done the same way as this sales tax, except you're decreasing. Well, yeah, 36 decreased by 25. You are wanting to find the percent of decrease. Okay, what is the percent? What is percent of decrease? You will need two answers. You will need what 35 actually is decreased by 25, which is simply 36 minus 25. Okay? You will also need percent of decrease. Percent of, just call it decrease. Okay? That will be a percent answer, and then you will actually need to know what the final number is, which is simply 36 minus 25, which is what? 11. Okay? Percent of decrease and total, which is simply 36 minus 25, which is 11. That will be one of your answers. Okay, you know that right now because you have those numbers. But now we need to find the percent of decrease. Here again, 36 decreased. It's 36 is the 100%. Okay, so it's 36 number over percent again. 36 over 100 equals, what do we got? A number, 25 over the decreased percent. All right? The percent of decrease. And that is the answer for percent of decrease. So you have 36D equals 25 times 100, right? 25 times 100, let's just put it 2,500. All right, 36D divided by 36 has it so that just D is left. So your last one here is going to be D equals 2,500 divided by 36. 2,500 divided by 36, and this is going to come up with a decimal. Let's just round it to the nearest whole number, but if you, and yours in your problem, it won't come out to a percent. I mean, it won't come out to a decimal. 2,500 divided by 36 equals 69.4. Let's just make it 69. And it is a percent of decrease, so your answer is 69%. Okay, 69%, have to have percent, and you have to have this answer. 36 decrease, which just means 36 minus 25 is this answer here. So I will need a percent of decrease and the final answer of the decrease. All right? And that is your 3% problems. What is a percent of a number? A certain number decreased by another number, and I need the percent of decrease and a sales tax problem. You got those? Got it. You have been doing better on these, okay? Your last assignment that I graded, a lot of you did well. Most of you did well. Your last test, these proportion problems, you pretty much have, generally you have figured out, but check them out, okay? Think about them. Think about the proportion, what goes over what, and things like that. Couple more here. Fahrenheit, what do we got next? Fahrenheit to Celsius. All right, Fahrenheit, so we have a Fahrenheit temperature. What is it in Celsius? Know that the ratio of Celsius to Fahrenheit is about every 5 degrees that you go up with Celsius, you go up 9 degrees with Fahrenheit. But you have to deal with the fact that 0 degrees Celsius is the same as 32 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So here is always the formula that you work with. C, Celsius, equals Fahrenheit minus 32, and you work the proportion 5/9. Okay, so in these you will always be given a Fahrenheit temperature. So if we have 190 degrees Fahrenheit, what is the degrees Celsius? Is the question. So the Fahrenheit degrees always goes in here. You always have this proportion. C is always on the top. So this is what it looks like. It's always going to be 9C, right? 9C equals Fahrenheit 190 minus 32 times 5. So you can have it like this. 5 times 190 minus 32. All right? Solve the subtraction problem. That's what gets solved first. 9C equals 5 times, what's 190 minus 32? Again, do the math carefully. 158. All right, now we're multiplying this. 5 times 158. So 9C equals, what's 158 times 5? If you do the math carefully, 158 times 5, where are you? 790. All right, now you're ready to divide. Get rid of the 9, divided by 9, divided by 9. All you have left over here is C. C equals 790 divided by 9, rounded to the nearest whole number, is 88 degrees. Degrees Celsius. Again, label 88 degrees Celsius. If it has a spot like this for the answer, and it has this and this, then all you have to do is put 88 in there. Make sure you have a degree sign and Celsius with this. And this is always that formula. So check that out. You will need to know that. C over F minus 32 equals 5/9. All right. Removing decimals in an equation. 2.32x equals 2 times 8.12. 2 times 8.12. Right? You have these decimals. And you want to get rid of the decimals. How do you get rid of a decimal? How do you turn this decimal into a whole number? 2 places after the decimal. Tenths, hundredths. If it's only one, well, it's 2 places. Tenths, hundredths. So you multiply by what? Multiply both sides by 100. If it was just a 1 place after the decimal, you would multiply both sides by 10. If there was 3 places after the decimal, you would multiply by 1,000. Multiply 100 to both sides of the equation. That'll move the decimals over, right? So 100 times 2.32x, you keep the x, equals 100 times 2, whoops, that's complicated, doesn't really matter where the, times 8.12. Okay, now what is simply happening here is this 100 is gotten rid of by moving the decimal. You're getting rid of the decimal and you're getting rid of the 100. The 100 disappears. Same thing over here. You have a decimal and the 100 disappears. All right? So now you have what? 232x equals, you still have this 2. Okay? Don't let that 2 disappear. 2 times 812. All right? Now just keep this 232x equals, what is 2 times 812? 1624. All right? Now you're ready to divide. Get rid of the 232 by dividing by 232 so that all you have left is x, right? Divided by 232. If you divide that carefully, you will find that x equals 7. Okay, you just look at how many places are to the right of the decimal. 2 places, tenths, hundredths. Multiply both sides by 100. That simply moves the decimal point 2 places over so that you have 232 instead of 2.32. 812 instead of 8.12. All right? The longest video yet. You're borrowing $5,000. This is interest. So you're borrowing $5,000 at 9% for 2 years. I need to know, please pay attention to this, I need to know how much interest you're paying, and I need to know the total amount borrowed. So what's the total amount that you're going to, or total amount of your loan? How much are you going to pay back total? Which is simply principal plus interest. Okay? To get interest, we have what? PRT, right? And to get the total amount, it's simply principal plus the interest amount. Okay? Principal plus interest. So what is, well, let's do this. It doesn't matter what order you multiply. The 9 becomes 0.09, right? 5,000 times 0.09 times 2. What's 5,000 times 2? 5,000 times 2 is 10,000, right? And now multiply the 0.09. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 times 9, 9. You don't have to put that 0 there. Decimal point 2 places. Decimal point 2 places. So your interest is $900. Interest is $900. That's one answer. And so your total amount paid back is what? Principal times interest, $5,900. Again, dollar signs. Make sure your decimals go at the right place. Dollar signs. $900 interest, total amount paid back, $5,900. One more problem on the board. Scale drawings. Where you have the actual length and width of your lot or your house or your whatever it is, all right? So let's say the length of the room is 15 feet long. Room. Length. 15 feet. Width. 12 feet, I think it is. The scale is 1/4 inch equals 3 inches. All right, and you need to know, it says to give, all I need on this one is the length and the width of what your scale drawing will be. I do not need you to draw the scale drawing. So I need 2 answers. Length and width of your scale drawing. And your label will be inches. Okay? Now you have to do 2 different problems. You have to do one for the width and one for the length. We're just going to do the one for the length, and then we'll talk about how you get the one for the width. So you have the scale. 1/4 inch equals 3 inches. You put those across from each other. 1/4 inches equals 3 feet, right? Over. What is the actual width? So we're missing the width or the length of the scale drawing. Okay, that's your missing number. Your actual length is 15 feet, right? 15 feet. Here. All right, and then you solve that, and that gives you the length of the scale drawing. Again, you have this fraction that you need to get rid of, so let's just do it. 3. To find the width, then, you do the same thing, except you put the width amount in, 12, and you put a W for width. Okay, we're going to do one of these. 3L equals 1/4 times 15, right? Now you have this troublesome fraction in this that you want to get rid of. You get rid of it by 1 divided by 4 times 4. Okay? Multiply both sides by the denominator. 4 times 3L equals 4 times, sorry, keep doing that, 4 times 1/4